Hello, my name is Darley. I'm a senior at Joliet Central High School, and this is my advanced drafting Inventor portfolio. As you can see in the table of contents, that I just had one giant project overall, and I broke it up into different stages of it, which started off with the project purpose, research and design, AutoCAD designing, Inventor drafting, re-engineering the design, and then going straight back to Inventor again. With my project purpose, a major thing that I was trying to compensate was why did I need the carabiner? And that was because I was looking for something to hold both my keys at the point, but also something that I could use for further using, as in like climbing and such. That would be still something that would be to my design, and that also leads to my design specifications. I was looking for something a little bit more sleek, but also very durable at the same time. And that's really something I was trying to find throughout the course of this project. So in my research and design, I had a lot of internet resources. And some of them were very sleek, some of them were not very sleek, so I only limited down to a few of them. And in the next slide, I have a bunch of pictures that show what I chose for really basing my entire design off of it. As you can see from what I said, on the left there's two internet examples of what I wanted to use for my carabiner. On top of it, it shows a smaller carabiner along with a compass right in the middle, something a lot sleeker and yet handy. And on the bottom is just a simplistic carabiner, which was what I was really going for. To the right, the top left, it shows my carabiner design. It's a little bit more intricate than the other two designs, but it's something that I could use for also looks and what I could use in the field. And it also shows a bit of my dimensions for a side view and a top view as well. To the right of it is what I like to call so much like a door hinge. It goes in between both the top circle and a little groove that I have in the bottom of the carabiner, so it can open and close at will and still have movement and be steady as well. It has a little bit more design just like the carabiner as well, so it can still be a little bit different than other carabiners, but still maintain the same function as it would. And then the bottom of it, what I highlighted was the top portion of the carabiner, which would be used as what I like to call the door hinge, and act like a door hinge. And then the bottom is where it would be closing with the carabiner. After obtaining my initial design, I went to the AutoCAD drafting files, and I started to work on just my initial project as well. This took a great amount of time for me because I was trying to do a lot of intricate designs, but also keep it to a minimum simplicity. In the pictures that I'll be showing you next, it will go over really what I wanted to do for my carabiner and also some additional parts to hold the whole project together as well. In the top left, there's a picture about my carabiner. It shows the top view and bottom view. And the reason that there's two carabiners at the side is so I can add multiple dimensions and that there won't be so much on one carabiner and it can be distributed on each. On the bottom portion is what I really was going through dimensioning the whole project. As you can see in the carabiner, there is a vast amount of dimensions based on how specific it was, which shows why I added some more dimensions to the left of it, hence why I have two carabiners there. And on the base side of it, really the door hinge portion of it, there's a good amount of dimension there as well. It's intricate but not too intricate, and I really made it for production worthy. Yeah, production worthy rather than a more functional area, so to speak. To the writer that it's what I really held it together with, which was two rods really that would go through the bottom portion and the lower portion of the carabiner, really just keep it in a central place so that it would still have movement, but not too much movement, which would take away from the functionality of said project. Now, after getting my whole thing with the AutoCAD and whole drafting area out of it, I moved to the Inventor project. Now, this area, it was not as bad how I was expecting it. It was pretty simple, just putting a lot of extrusions in there, a lot of lofts in there, and nothing really too extreme, but it did take a decent amount of time rather than the AutoCAD version. As you can see about the two pictures here, it's more of a 3D model of the base, so it's a better look at it. As you can see, it's not too design based, which I was thankfully going for, but it also has the functionality. In this area right here, I did not finish at that point, so I was trying to go for a hole on both of the sides so that would match up in my assembly file for such. And these are two rods. The smaller one is for the bigger hole, and the longer one is for the skinnier hole. I also had more pictures for the Inventor model, which is to the left, a carabiner, which is just a bigger view of it, just more in depth, and to the middle of it, again, just the base, and to the right of it is my carabiner with extrusion. So another huge detail I was really going for was the ability to put two carabiners together to have one big carabiner that can hold a lot more weight, yet still have the ability to separate and have two carabiners if it's something not as heavy, but you still want a good amount of stability in there. So after coming up with all these dimensions and such, I really talked to him about Mr. West and showed him my design, and we came up that it was doing a little bit too much at the same time rather than just getting a general basis of what I wanted to really go for. So that was the main reason of why I chose to re-engineer my own design to go for something even more simplistic and just something a little bit more different that will get the function down. Some of these changes I'll show you in the next picture, but I came up with a whole design, and that design is in the top left, which really I was going for almost like a metal rod that would be shaped to go inside the carabiner, so through the hole to the top right of here, and almost have the same function as the last piece that I had in here, just it would be one piece instead of just multiple pieces attaching to it. And since I could not weld wood in there, I used a puzzle piece mechanism, as I like to call it, and broke it in two and would be able to latch them together so I could still get the piece through there and have the same function, but not have to worry about welding wood pieces together, and they would just fit into each other. And also, you can see a different design that I added to the carabiner was you don't see that many intricacies on it so much, and it's a lot smaller, so to speak, a lot smaller in scale, along with smaller in detail. So it's more minimalistic than my last carabiner. Now, moving on from the Inventor to the Inventor File, it took a bloody long amount of time. It was just with the loss and all that, and just adding it in the assembly file was a incredible amount of time. And why this took a lot of time was because of the intricacies with the scaling, which is another thing I need to talk about. The scaling is very huge on this. You have to get it down. If you do not get it down, then it's just going to ruin the whole entire project and such. These are some of the pictures that I have. Two to the right are with the assembly file, and to the left are just what I have for the Inventor File as well. As you can see, I added a couple threads in there as well, just to really give the basis of it and be able to have it screw in and not easily fall out, just a little bit more secured to the center of it. Well, this project has been a very fun time. I want to thank Mr. West. I also thank Callie, Lucas, and Trent as well. They were a huge help for helping me throughout this project, answering questions that I had. And it was just a real pleasure to do this, and I'm looking forward to second semester with Mr. West to create even better things. Thank you, and have a nice day.